Taoiseach, I'm still trying to get an answer out of you about the question of the eviction ban. And, I mean, I don't understand why you won't give a straight answer. So, will you please tell me, are people who have current notices to quit prior to this legislation that you're promising being brought in, will they be protected from eviction over the winter?
So they would.
Right. Just so it's clear. Secondly,
I'll come back to you.
Will you also clarify whether it is now, as a matter of policy, which we've been asking for, I'd say, about 2 years, that you would purchase, as a matter of policy, homes where families are threatened with eviction into homelessness? And indeed, I would, as we've been saying, you should go further and proactively go out and purchase developer projects where new houses are coming on stream so that we get more than 10% for social and affordable housing, and that sites, which frankly should never have been sold off by NAMA, that those sites would also be purchased for the delivery of social and affordable housing, given that your housing for all targets are failing, and failing catastrophically. And will the protections for tenants generally apply to those above the thresholds, the social income housing thresholds, which you have refused to raise?
Deputy Boyd Barrett, first of all, I take, strategy you deploy every now and again is please give me a straight answer, immediately raising the prospect that the answer you got wasn't a straight answer when it was. And specifically, again, I put it to you, first of all, the bill has to be published. The bill has to be enacted before any of its measures can take place. You know that. You know that. And therefore, the bill will defer certain notices of termination served on tenants for the period on the day after the date of the passing of this Act. So irrespective of whether a notice to quit is in process, once legislation comes into play, the day after that, no one can be evicted, unless they haven't paid their rent and they haven't fulfilled their obligations in respect of good behaviour and stuff like that, in terms of not wrecking the place and so on. So, and I don't think anyone could object to that. And those are the measures. The full details of this will be published in the Act in the next day or two. So, and as soon as we can get it through the House, the greater protection we can give to as many people that could be in jeopardy of being evicted. And in respect of purchasing homes as a matter of policy, I've made the point that already today that up to 650 houses are in the process of being purchased or have been purchased with tenants in situ. The vast majority of those tenants in situ with a view to making sure that they're not evicted. And the Minister has given that policy to local authorities, that they may. Now, in every given situation, local authorities have to have some discretion. But the dramatic change since July in terms of activity levels, in terms of purchasing houses, where tenants were on the cusp of being evicted, and they in situ has been significantly increased as a result of the Minister's initiative, and that should be acknowledged. That should be acknowledged.
Calling for it for a long time, and he's ignored it.
And also, no, he didn't ignore it, he's implemented it.
My area.
And in terms of, we are building very substantially more social homes through approved social housing bodies and through local authorities, and we're doing everything we can to increase the level and numbers of social homes, primarily through house building, some through acquisitions, some through leasing in respect of immediate urgency around homelessness, which we want to prevent. The state is the biggest actor in housing now. Go through all of the schemes. The government is bridging the viability gap. That's why Creekona is there for towns, why Creekona is there for cities and brownfield developments. It's the state's involved in first home for first-time buyers, which has a shared equity dimension to it, help to buy, and so on, and the cost rental. All of these are new developments brought about by Minister O'Brien and the legislation he's put in place. He's been very active over the last 2 years. He's also brought in a lot of protections for tenants as well. Sorry.